Most truck buyers think the midsize segment already has its winner, and that Toyota, Ford, and Chevrolet have that fight locked up for good. Most of the time, that kind of certainty is exactly what gets disrupted. Last month, at the Stellantis Investor Day event in Auburn Hills, Michigan, Ram CEO Tim Kuniskis stood in front of automotive journalists and confirmed what truck enthusiasts have been waiting 15 years to hear. The Ram Dakota is officially coming back, with a potential 500 horsepower engine in a midsize body that no competitor currently offers at any price. The problem for Toyota, Ford, and Chevrolet is one simple thing. Ram isn't building just another midsize truck. They're building the most powerful midsize truck ever produced, and they're doing it at the same Toledo assembly plant that already builds the Jeep Wrangler and Gladiator. Here are the biggest updates on the 2028 Ram Dakota, and the number one reveal on this list is the confirmed SRT performance variant that is engineered to make the Ford Ranger Raptor look completely underpowered by comparison. The first thing you need to understand is the Dakota's history, because without that context, you can't fully appreciate why this revival is such a significant moment for the American truck market. The original Dakota and why it mattered. The original Dodge Dakota rolled out for the 1987 model year and immediately carved out a segment that nobody else had thought to create. It was bigger than the compact trucks of the era, but smaller than a traditional full-size half-ton. And that combination turned out to be exactly what a massive portion of the American truck market actually wanted. It pioneered the midsize pickup segment before the term midsize pickup even existed. Drivetrains began with inline-4 and V6 options, but Dodge quickly expanded the truck's capabilities in ways nobody expected. The first generation ran from 1987 through 1996 and was defined by engineering firsts. Standard rack and pinion steering on two-wheel drive configurations was a segment first. In 1989, Dodge partnered with the American Sunroof Company to release the Dakota Sport Convertible, a manually removable folding vinyl top with an integrated roll bar. Only 3,700 units were ever sold across 1989 and 1990 model years. That same year, Carroll Shelby built his first rear-wheel drive performance vehicle in 2 decades, using the Dakota as the foundation, powered by a 5.2-liter STLA V8, making 175 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. In 1991, Dodge integrated V8 power directly into the mainstream assembly line, introducing a 170 horsepower 5.2-liter STLA V8 that evolved into the highly regarded 230 horsepower Magnum V8 by 1992. That V8 availability in a midsize truck was something no other manufacturer was offering at the time, and it became one of the defining characteristics of the Dakota's identity. The second generation ran from 1997 through 2004 and adopted a scaled-down mini-Ram styling language that mimicked the revolutionary 1994 Dodge Ram 1500. In 1998, Dodge launched the Dakota RT, a factory hot rod equipped with a 5.9-liter Magnum V8 producing 250 horsepower and 345 pound-feet of torque, mated to a heavy-duty 46RE 4-speed automatic transmission. It ran 0 to 60 in 6.9 seconds and completed a quarter mile in just over 15 seconds. The 2000 model year introduced the quad cab with 4 full-size doors and seating for up to 6 passengers, another segment first that competitors scrambled to match. The third generation ran from 2005 through 2011 and transitioned to a hydroformed frame shared with the Dodge Durango. Despite class-leading towing figures of up to 7,250 pounds, the third-generation Dakota suffered a severe market decline. As the truck grew in size and price, its retail costs began overlapping with the full-size Ram 1500. Lacking significant fuel economy advantages or price differentiation, buyers simply defaulted to the larger, more capable full-size truck. Sales collapsed to just 13,047 units by 2010, and the Dakota was discontinued in 2011. For the next 15 years, Ram had no answer for the Toyota Tacoma, Ford Ranger, or Chevrolet Colorado. Brand-loyal buyers seeking smaller, more affordable utility vehicles were forced to migrate to rival automakers. That 15-year gap ends with the 2028 Ram Dakota. And what Stellantis has confirmed about this truck is worth paying very close attention to. Before we get to the next one, if you want a more in-depth look into how your truck can last 200,000, 300,000, or even 500,000 miles, this ebook reveals the exact maintenance secrets and brand-specific strategies that every smart truck owner should know. If you want to check it out, the link is down in the description below. The corporate collapse that made the Dakota possible. To understand why the Dakota is coming back right now, you have to understand the corporate situation that made it possible and the man who is driving it. When Carlos Tavares resigned from Stellantis on December 1st, 2024, the company was in serious trouble. Per CNBC's reporting that same day, Stellantis stock had already fallen approximately 43% over the 5 years since the 2021 merger before his exit even happened. Net profit had collapsed by 70%. Stellantis' official full-year 2024 results confirmed that net revenues fell 17% to 156.9 billion euros year over year. The entire American truck and SUV strategy needed to be rebuilt from scratch. The Stellantis board named Antonio Filosa as the new global CEO in May 2025. Filosa had already served as CEO of Jeep and run operations across the Americas. By the time Filosa stepped into the top job, Tim Kuniskis had already been coaxed out of his brief retirement in December 2024 to step back in as Ram's CEO. Recognizing his master branding talent, Filosa's first major strategic play in July 2025 was expanding Kuniskis' role to lead all of Stellantis' American brands and officially bringing back the iconic SRT performance division. Kuniskis is the executive who designed the original Hellcat strategy at Dodge. Inside Stellantis, they call him the father of the Hellcats. On July 2nd, 2025, Stellantis published a press release with a headline nobody could have predicted. Tim Kuniskis appointed to lead Stellantis American brands. Company revives iconic SRT performance division. Kuniskis' own quote inside that release said it all. Quote, "We're getting the band back together. SRT is another box we needed to check as we head into a product launch cadence enabling more performance than we've ever seen before." End quote. Under the Fastlane 2030 strategic plan unveiled at the Stellantis Investor Day event, the company committed 60 billion euros across more than 60 new vehicles and 50 refreshes over 5 years. For North America alone, that breaks down to 11 new nameplates, 12 refreshes, and 8 new SRT performance variants. The Dakota is the centerpiece of that North American product offensive, and the strategic logic behind its return is driven by a very specific market problem. Over the past several years, full-size pickup prices have ballooned. Average transaction prices for a well-equipped half-ton truck now frequently exceed $60,000. That price inflation has alienated middle-class buyers and led to a notable decline in Ram 1500 sales volumes. By positioning the baseline Dakota under $40,000, Stellantis creates a highly attractive alternative that allows the brand to retain price-sensitive buyers who would otherwise migrate to Toyota, Ford, or Chevrolet. The Dakota isn't just a new truck. It is a strategic lifeline for the Ram brand in North America, the platform and production decision. Now here is where the engineering story gets interesting, because the decisions Stellantis made about how and where to build this truck are smarter than most people realize. Early corporate speculation pointed toward using a unibody structure derived from the South American Ram Rampage. Stellantis planners evaluated that option and rejected it entirely. A unibody design would lack the structural rigidity, towing capacities, and payload ratings demanded by the North American market. North American truck buyers have specific expectations, and a unibody platform simply cannot meet them. Instead, the 2028 Ram Dakota will utilize a traditional heavy-duty body-on-frame configuration built on a specialized, modular iteration of Stellantis's STLA Frame platform. This platform accommodates wheelbases ranging from 123.7 to 145.3 inches, perfectly aligned with competitive midsize proportions. The STLA Frame is engineered to support conventional internal combustion engines, mild hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and future battery electric powertrains without requiring fundamental alterations to the frame rails or body mounts. That multi-energy adaptability is a significant long-term advantage over competitors locked into a single powertrain architecture. The production location decision is equally significant. The 2028 Ram Dakota will be assembled at the Toledo Assembly Complex in Ohio, alongside the Jeep Wrangler and Gladiator. By leveraging Toledo's existing heavy-duty ladder frame manufacturing lines and established regional supply chains, Stellantis can dramatically reduce capital development costs, accelerate validation timelines, and maintain a highly competitive retail price point. That geographic decision also gives the Dakota genuine off-road credibility that cannot be manufactured through marketing. The Toledo facility has been building proven, trail-tested off-road vehicles for decades. If you're enjoying this breakdown of the Dakota's return, hit subscribe right now. This channel covers the biggest truck launches, hidden details, and industry updates with real sources and zero fake rumors. And we don't want you to miss what's coming next. The powertrain lineup and what it means for buyers. The powertrain lineup of the 2028 Ram Dakota is designed to deliver both fuel-efficient utility and class-leading performance. And it covers more ground than any competitor currently offers. The standard models are expected to feature a turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, producing an estimated 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, mated to a robust 8-speed automatic transmission. Plug-in hybrid and mild hybrid configurations will be available to maximize fuel economy, making the Dakota the only midsize truck in this segment to offer a full multi-energy powertrain lineup from the factory. The Ford Ranger and Chevrolet Colorado currently offer no hybrid options whatsoever. The multi-energy hybrid configuration is expected to produce an estimated 320 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque, which would immediately place it right on the heels of the Toyota Tacoma's class-leading iForce Max hybrid setup. The Ram Dakota is engineered to target a towing capacity of over 7,200 pounds, comfortably exceeding the Toyota Tacoma's maximum of 6,500 pounds and approaching the Chevrolet Colorado's class-leading 7,700 pound rating. The target starting price is under $40,000, which positions the Dakota directly against the Toyota Tacoma at $33,200, the Ford Ranger at $34,000, and the Chevrolet Colorado at $33,600. Inside the cab, the Dakota will be slightly wider than key competitors, translating directly into increased shoulder width and superior elbow room. The dashboard will feature a fully digital interface running the advanced STLA Brain software architecture, anchored by a large horizontal central touchscreen display. That horizontal layout contrasts directly with the vertical portrait-style touchscreens used in the Ford Ranger and Chevrolet Colorado. Under new technology partnerships with Qualcomm and Wave, the Dakota will integrate the Snapdragon digital chassis platform, enabling advanced hands-free, eyes-on supervised automated driving starting in 2027, with point-to-point supervised automated navigation scheduled for 2028. The Dakota SRT, the most powerful midsize truck ever built. This is the part of the story that changes everything, and it is the confirmation that nobody in the midsize truck segment was prepared for. Following the corporate revival of the SRT division under Tim Kuniskis, Stellantis confirmed the high-performance Dakota SRT as part of the Fastlane 2030 product plan. It is pitched directly as a competitor to the Ford Ranger Raptor, and it is engineered to win that fight decisively. The Ranger Raptor produces 405 horsepower from its twin-turbo V6. The Dakota SRT is being engineered to surpass that figure by a significant margin. automotive experts and industry insiders point to two highly anticipated high-output propulsion systems. The first candidate is the 3-liter twin-turbo Hurricane inline-six, the same engine found in the full-size Ram 1500. In the smaller, lighter Dakota chassis, this engine could be tuned to produce an estimated 500 horsepower, giving the Dakota SRT a 95 horsepower advantage over the Ranger Raptor before the first wheel ever turns off-road. The second candidate is the 6.4-liter Apache V8, the 392 cubic inch naturally aspirated V8 already integrated into the Toledo-built Jeep Wrangler. A V8-powered Dakota SRT would deliver a minimum of 470 horsepower, capitalizing on heavy consumer demand for traditional high-displacement combustion muscle. Regardless of which engine is selected, the Dakota SRT will feature standard 4-wheel drive, a reinforced ladder frame, a lifted off-road suspension system utilizing advanced Bilstein front and rear shock absorbers, aggressive wider bodywork, and heavy-duty knobby tires. Compare those specifications against the current midsize field. The Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro tops out at 326 horsepower, the Chevrolet Colorado ZR 2 caps at 310 horsepower, and even the segment-leading Ranger Raptor sits at 405 horsepower. A 500 horsepower Ram Dakota SRT doesn't just lead the midsize segment, it laps it. Now, there is still a significant amount we don't know about the Dakota. Stellantis hasn't confirmed final pricing beyond the under $40,000 baseline target. The full production timeline is tied to the Fastlane 2030 plan, which carries standard forward-looking statement caveats that actual results could differ from the plan. And the final engine selection for the SRT variant, Hurricane inline-six or Apache V8, has not been officially confirmed. What has been confirmed is the intent, the platform, the production location, and the performance target. For a truck that was dead and buried 15 years ago, that is a remarkable amount of substance. The 2028 Ram Dakota is not just a truck coming back from the dead. It is a calculated strategic product offensive built on a proven platform, assembled at a legendary facility, priced to compete directly with the segment leaders, and topped by a performance variant engineered to destroy the competition. The body-on-frame architecture, the multi-energy powertrain lineup, the wider cab, the horizontal touchscreen, and the potential 500 horsepower SRT engine. Every single one of those decisions was made with a specific competitor in mind. Toyota, Ford, and Chevrolet have had 15 years to own this segment without Ram at the table. That ends in 2027. Subscribe to stay up to date on every new development as this truck gets closer to production, because this story is just getting started.